Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Nancy Cordes, in for Norah. Tonight, a federal judge has unsealed the warrant that authorized the search of former President Donald Trump's Florida home, Mar-a-Lago. The records reveal that the FBI recovered 11 sets of classified records, including some documents labeled top secret. The warrant also indicates that the FBI is investigating Trump for potential violations of the Espionage Act. The warrant says that agents were told to look for signs that official records had been altered, destroyed, or concealed. Sources tell CBS News that investigators initially issued a subpoena for the records back in the spring. We're also learning more about the suspect killed in yesterday's attempted breach of an FBI field office in Ohio. CBS's Jeff Pegues will have that, but CBS's Robert Costa will start us off tonight with the unsealing of that search warrant. Good evening, Robert.
Good evening, Nancy. Former President Trump didn't fight the release of these documents, and after 5 days of tumultuous back and forth between the Justice Department and the former president, today we finally got a look detailing what the FBI carried out of Trump's residence in Florida.
The court papers obtained by CBS News and unsealed today show the FBI seized more than 20 boxes, some containing classified documents marked top secret and above. And according to sources, the material likely includes highly sensitive communication intercepts. The FBI also took handwritten notes, 2 photo binders, information about the president of France, and a document about the pardoning of Trump ally Roger Stone. The list of seized materials runs 3 pages. A federal magistrate approved a warrant to search the former president's home 1 week ago Friday, and on Monday morning the FBI executed the search. The warrant seeks documents related to the national defense, a possible violation of the Espionage Act, mishandling classified information, and also cites possible destruction of government property.
How did Trump handle classified documents?
John Bolton, now a Trump critic, served as his national security advisor.
Well, I thought he handled them carelessly. I don't think he fully appreciated the significance of the classification procedures.
The FBI was authorized to search Trump's office and all storage rooms or areas in which boxes or documents could be stored, which included most of the 17-acre estate. Guest suites were off limits. In a statement, the former president said the documents seized were, quote, declassified, and that he would have provided them if asked. On Capitol Hill, Republicans continued to voice concern about the FBI search.
And I want to know why they didn't just ask him for it. And if they did he not comply? I mean, that would be a very simple question to answer.
Democrat Jamie Raskin is a member of the January 6 committee.
Donald Trump is a one-man crime wave.
Trump's handling of classified documents has been the subject of a months-long federal probe, marked by a grand jury subpoena issued this spring, then a June meeting between investigators and Trump's lawyers. And now Monday's search.
Why do you think he took potentially sensitive documents back to Florida after the presidency?
Because he thought he could get away with it.
And Robert Costa is back with us now. Robert, the president says that all of these documents were declassified, the former president, that is. If that's the case, wouldn't there be some record of it?
This is going to be a matter, Nancy, of legal wrangling in the coming days, a battle over classification. But as the warrant states, there are other laws at issues here that are not just about how documents were handled and how they're classified, but about which documents were taken down to Florida.
Still new details coming out every day on this, and you're on top of it. Robert Costa, thank you so much.